to decide that the things that I tried were in my life just to get high on. When I sit alone, come get a little known, but I need more than myself this time. Step from the road to the sea to the sky, and I do believe that we rely on. When I lay it on, come get to play it on, all my life to sacrifice. Hey, oh, listen what I say, oh, I got your hey, oh, now listen what I say, oh, when will I know that I really can go to the well one small time to decide on when it's killing me? When will I really see all that I need to look inside? Come to believe that I better not leave before I get my chance to ride. When it's killing me, what do I really need? All that I need to look inside. Hey, oh, listen what I say, oh, come back and hey, oh, look at what I say, oh. The more I see, the less I know, the more I like to let it go. Hey, oh, whoa, whoa. Deep beneath the cover of another perfect wonder, where it's so white as snow, privately divided by a world so undecided, and there's nowhere to go. In between the cover of another perfect wonder, and it's so white as snow, running through the field where all my tracks will be concealed, and there's nowhere to go. Oh! When to descend to amend for a friend all the channels that have broken down. Now you bring it up, I'm gonna ring it up just to hear you sing it out. Step from the road to the sea to the sky, and I do believe what we rely on. When I lay it on, come get to play it on, all my life to sacrifice. Hey, oh, listen what I say, oh, I got your hey, oh, listen what I say, oh. The more I see, the less I know, the more I like to let it go. Hey, oh, whoa, whoa. Deep beneath the cover of another perfect wonder, where it's so white as snow, privately divided by a world so undecided, and there's nowhere to go. In between
you have the time to listen to me whine about nothing and everything all at once. I am one of those melodramatic fools, neurotic to the bone, no doubt about it. Sometimes I give myself the creeps. Sometimes my mind plays tricks on me. It all keeps adding up. I think I'm cracking up. Am I just paranoid? Am I just up? I went to a shrink to analyze my dreams. She says it's like a sex that's bringing me down. I went to a whore. He said my life's a bore. Choke with my white cause it's bringing her down. Sometimes I give myself the creeps. Sometimes my mind plays tricks on me. It all keeps adding up. I think I'm cracking up. Am I just paranoid? Grasping to control, so I better hold on. Sometimes I give myself the creeps. Sometimes my mind plays tricks on me. It all keeps adding up. I think I'm cracking up. Am I just paranoid? Am I just up?
How long will I slide or separate my side? I don't believe it's been slitting my throat. It's all I am. I heard your voice through a photograph. I thought that I've been brought up the past. Once you know you can never go back, I gotta take it on the other side.
Yeah, good morning, Internet, though. But it's Uncle Lou here, though. Yeah, that's right. It's me, Uncle Lou, live for you on LouTube today. Thanks for watching Lunch Money every Monday night at 10 p.m. year round. Don't run off when the season ends. The show's actually better in the off season, in most people's opinion, including mine, actually. Yeah. What's up, Pete?
Happy Kwanzaa, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. I mean, early Christmas came for your boy, Big Kid Pete.
Hanukkah's over.
Oh, is it? Sorry.
Yeah. You missed it. The 8 crazy nights have come and gone. Yeah. The 8 crazy nights have
miss it every year.
Yeah. What came? What you got an early Christmas present? You said?
Oh yeah, Spencer Rattler is an early Christmas present for Big Kid Pete going to South Carolina. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
That gives me 9 months of material. I'm very excited about that.
I don't know how he's going to do there, but I'm surprised he went there. I would think he would have had a lot of options.
Do you really think so? I mean, the guy got benched halfway through the season, cried like a baby on the sideline. Half of his team's talking shit about him.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. No.
I thought he'd end up at Ole Miss.
Don't they have
No.
like a highly ready quarterback coming in? No.
I don't know. Like that's in high school right now? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. They don't have anybody on the roster. I know that.
Has what's his name decided whether he's leaving for the NFL or not? Because he was tweeting out some stuff saying he might stay. I don't know.
I'd be shocked if he stayed. The quarterback class is so bad. Why wouldn't you go? He'd be the first quarterback taken, probably.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if he comes.
Either him or Pickett.
Yeah. Oh, we'll see. Signing day coming up in 2 days too. Looks like Clemson finishing outside the top 10 for the first time in a while.
I think it's been 3 or 4 years. Yeah. I don't know where they rank right now, like 15 or something. I think they'll finish probably somewhere around 11 or 12.
Yeah, 15 right now.
Yeah. They'll finish around 11 or 12. But they've had 3 top 5 recruiting classes in a row before this.
Yeah.
2 coordinators leaving. If they can salvage the top 15 class, I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
I really am. Only 12 commits, though. That's not good.
What do you I know we got all off season to talk about stuff like this, but is the ukulele going to be the quarterback next year, or you think that's open with a new coordinator coming in?
Well, according to the coaching staff, it's always open. I think that you're going to see a similar situation that you saw with Kelly Bryant and Trevor Lawrence. With Cade Klubnik coming in there.
Yeah.
I have no doubt that DJ will start the first 4 or 5 games or so, and they'll let Cade get some playing time, some significant playing time too, not just trash time.
Yeah. And
let him play it out. And my projection is that Cade is going to take the job week 4 or 5. I don't know. For all I know, DJ could go out there and light it up and keep his spot. But my projection is that Cade is going to take it over. And at that time, DJ probably will hit the transfer portal if that happens.
Do y'all have a big non-con in the first part of the season next year?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
I think that our big non-con game next year is Notre Dame. If you want to consider that a non-con outside of the ACC.
Yeah.
And that doesn't come till mid or late October, I think. So no. Everything is cupcake or ACC in the first part of the season.
Georgia Tech game 1, so preseason game.
Yeah, Georgia Tech game 1. That's in Atlanta and the Falcon Stadium. You know that.
Tell me, you play Notre Dame week 4. That's interesting because you're projecting by around week 4. And that's the way it happened with, like you said, with Kelly Bryant and Trevor Lawrence. He was named the starter after week 4. Trevor was. They both played in the
Yeah.
first 4 at Notre Dame.
Yeah, if you
Besides,
remember correctly, that was the first year of the 4-year redshirt rule.
right, the 4-game rule. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, the 4-game rule.
Right.
In 2008 or 2017 rather.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first game of that rule, and Dabo sat down with Kelly Bryant and said, "Look, 4 games up. You want to transfer? Go ahead and do it. You don't. Trevor Lawrence is a starter from here on out, and he chose to transfer."
Yeah, I've been hard on Dabo about some things. I always thought he did the right thing there. I think, because had Kelly Bryant played one more game, that was it. He had no more college eligibility.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what sort of reaction Dabo got in general to what he did, but I thought that was the right thing to do, to go to Kelly Bryant and tell him, look, we're going to go with Trevor. So if you want to sit out the rest of the year, to transfer and that way you can have another year of eligibility, let me know. We'll get a different backup prepared. I don't want to play you in some meaningless game in the fourth quarter in week 7 and blow your college eligibility. I thought
Yeah, he did. He did Kelly Bryant a solid.
Yeah.
He did him a solid, and he knew the 4-game rule, and he let him make his own decision. And, I don't know that obviously it didn't turn out being a great decision because Kelly Bryant didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Both at Missouri or in the NFL, but that's on him. That ain't on Dabo. Again, he gave him the option to do what he wanted to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And it could it's a bad decision. It might not have mattered where he went. He might
probably not.
Just
probably
wasn't
not.
quite NFL material. He's a decent college quarterback.
Yeah, that's true. He wasn't. You're right.
What's let me put this on the screen so everybody else can see it. What is the toughest game out of Clemson's first 3? At Georgia Tech, Louisiana Tech, or Furman? What's the toughest of those 3? Probably Louisiana Tech.
I like this. The fact that it's not backloaded cupcake games. I like this. I like getting the shit out of the way at the beginning of the season. I would say the toughest game out of those 3 games. Oh man. Flip a coin, I guess. I don't know. Georgia Tech's a mess.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait. This isn't in chronological order. So you don't play Furman until October 8th. They've got this.
Okay.
They've got this broken down non-con.
Yeah, I was confused
ACC.
there for a second. I was like, what's going on here?
I guess they don't have the dates of the ACC games yet. I don't know why they're doing it this way, but anyway.
My guess is it's going to be Furman, Georgia Tech, Furman, or either Furman or Louisiana Tech in the first 2 weeks, and then one of the other cupcakes will be, like you said, in October.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech's a mess.
They really are.
Yeah. It's hard to say.
Losing coaches, losing players. They're losing the wrong coaches though. They should be losing the head coach.
Yeah, according to our boy Sea-Dog, that's going to happen after next year because it's like an insanely different payout if they let them stay one more year than if they don't.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I am planning on going to that Notre Dame game, though, on November 5th.
Oh, you went to the one, you went to the last one there, didn't you?
No.
Oh,
no, I bought tickets,
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. It
Couldn't
was
go.
because of COVID. They
Yeah.
had no fans there.
Right.
They refunded me my ticket, yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
So I'm doing a do-over here, try to
Yeah.
make it to that one. See what
That'd
happens.
be a memorable trip. See a game there.
Yeah, and I got the hookup too, man.
Yeah.
Somebody gonna show me around the stadium, show me around the locker rooms, take me to
Wow.
like the biggest tailgate. So I'm hoping that I'm able to make it there. It's gonna be
Yeah.
expensive,
We all like to
Right.
joke on Notre Dame, but there ain't a college football fan on earth who wouldn't go to a game at Notre Dame if they had the chance.
No, I've been waiting my whole life to do it, man.
Yeah, that's a
Really
game.
have.
That should be on everybody's bucket list of places to see a game, right? Notre Dame.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Guess where I'm going this weekend, though?
This weekend. The Polar Express place in North Carolina.
No. That might be more exciting than where I'm going. I'm going to Clemson, though.
Oh,
I'm going to see the Clemson Tigers take on the South Carolina Gamecocks in basketball. Taking my son Pete Jr. his first college basketball game.
oh, nice.
Look forward to it.
Yeah. Is he a basketball fan?
Well, he plays basketball.
Okay.
I don't know if he doesn't sit around and watch it. He just likes to play it. But he's been to when we took him to a Clemson football game like 3 or 4 years ago. He was only like 8.
Yeah.
But now he's older. He's 14 years old now, and I said, hey, just me and him. Take him up there for the weekend. Let him see a basketball game. Basketball is one of those sports. I'm not a huge basketball fan. I know you're not either. But to go to a college basketball game in person is a totally different experience.
Yeah.
You know, especially for a 14-year-old. So I'm really looking forward to it, man. I've been looking forward to it for the past month.
Yeah. Or I've never been to a college basketball game. I'm would imagine, especially at a place like Clemson or probably even Georgia, basketball tickets are much cheaper than football tickets.
Yeah, we got pretty good tickets. We're down in the bottom level, and I think they were $75 a piece, which sounds like a lot even for a basketball game. But the game was sold out because it's South Carolina. That's the reason why, and it's because it's the week of Christmas, so people have off work. You know, the whole 9 yards. So
Yeah.
I thought 75 was high actually for. I mean, Clemson's not good at basketball. They never have been, but it's because it's against South Carolina on vacation week. That's the reason it was so high.
Yeah. $75 just to park at a Georgia football game.
Yeah.
Never mind a ticket.
Yeah. Football's different though.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm a park at the hotel, and the hotel we're staying at, it's the Abernathy, is like literally a 5-minute walk from Little John Coliseum, the
nice.
basketball arena.
Yeah.
So so we don't have to pay for parking or anything. We just walk over there. So I'm looking forward to it, man. It should be a good time.
Do people tailgate at college basketball games?
They do a little bit. The last Clemson game I went to in basketball was probably 15 years ago. It's been a while. But yeah, it's nothing like football. I mean, it's like the parking lot of the arena, basically. It's not like the whole campus like it is with football, you know.
Maybe I'll take my son to a Georgia basketball game. He sounds like
should
he's
do that.
about like your son. He doesn't watch it on TV, but I mean he knows all the players, but he doesn't watch it on the NBA or anything on TV. But he plays basketball. Now he's not in a league, but he's got a basketball goal. He plays all the time. If he's not playing soccer, he's playing in the yard. He's playing basketball.
It's cool, man. If you've never been to a college basketball game, you got to go, man. It's a way different experience than a football game. I mean, because it's first of all, it's indoors, so it's really loud, and you get a much better view of what's going on because it's smaller. You know, it's not like a football stadium where you're sitting 100 yards away from the field. You're sitting right there, and you can see them. Yeah, it's great. It's a great time.
Yeah. Maybe a last second Christmas present for Lou Jr. I'll have to look into that. You got me thinking now. I think I am going to look into that and take him. How far of a drive is it for you to get to Clemson?
3 hours.
3 hours, okay. About an hour and a half for me to get to UGA. I usually go and come back on the same day, even for football games. In fact, I don't think I've ever spent the night in Athens.
Well, this trip we're going. The game's on Saturday at noon, so for a 3-hour drive, I'm not waking up at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
So we're going up Friday afternoon, check into the hotel, go out, get dinner, whatever. I might walk them around the campus and stuff, and show them some stuff. Go back to the hotel, get some good sleep, and then go to the game on Saturday. And then we are driving home after the game on Saturday. We're not staying 2 nights. You know, that's ridiculous. For a basketball game.
Yeah.
So it's going to be basically a 24-hour trip.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, that'll be fun. When is that? That's this weekend?
Yeah, on Saturday.
Yeah. That'll be fun. Y'all have a good time, I'm sure. You watch any of the Army-Navy game?
I watched I'm upset because I watched the first half, but not the second half. And the second half was the exciting half of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, close game. Navy ended up winning. Army was a 7-point favorite and lost, but it was a good game, though.
Go Navy.
Yeah. Low
Go Navy.
scoring, like everybody thought it would be. We didn't do the Lunch Money show last week, or we would have talked about that game, but the over-under on that game, Pete, was 34.
I know.
That is. And what the final score end up being? Something like.
I think it was 17 to 14.
Something like that. So if that's the case, the under hit. If it was, let me see what it was.
Yeah,
I know the under.
Well,
I know the over under was
yeah.
34. So let me look up what the.
Well, I lost the bet because I bet the over. I bet the over. 17 to 13 is what it was. Yeah, I bet the
30,
over and I lost. I don't.
30.
Yeah.
Man, and it looked like you said you watched the first half. I guess each team scored a touchdown on their first possession. I was like, "Here we go! We're gonna have some offense here."
Yeah,
I saw both teams shotgun 4 wide receivers. Not like they were doing it all the time, but yes, what are they doing? And then after that, everything kind of bogged down. I mean, Army never scored another touchdown. The Army scored a touchdown on their first drive. They never scored another touchdown. 2 more field goals. That was it.
No. Yeah, after the first quarter, I was counting my money.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. God, that's a low over. Man, 17 to 13. Yeah, it ended up being a pretty good game, though. I streamed it over on the Patreon, which was good because that forced me to watch. Yeah, that forced me to watch the whole thing, and I'm glad I did because it ended up being a good game.
I'll tell you one thing. I'm not. You know, you hear people on YouTube all the time or on social media or whatever talking about uniforms. I'm not a uniform guy. I don't give a shit like what uniforms people wear. But every single year, Army and Navy have the best uniforms, hands down. The best uniforms, the best helmets, and they always say some crazy shit for the helmets too. Did you see the Navy helmet?
The Navy helmets were amazing.
Yeah, they were. The whole thing is just great. I mean,
sorry, I was getting ready to play.
No, the whole thing is just great. You know, the entrance. They had helicopters and planes fly over. You know what it is? I hope to one day retire and be able to go to all the major college football stadiums in the country and take an RV and just drive around. I mean, that's my dream. But out of all of them, I've got to make it to at least one Army-Navy game.
Yeah.
Got to.
Yeah, I bet that's something to see. Edward, I see you on hold. We're going to get you on in just a second. There's a video I want to play. Pete, Brian Kelly is at it again. You thought Dan Mullen couldn't dance.
Oh, good God.
Brian Kelly had his Cajun accent on full display at the LSU basketball game a couple of weeks ago when he was first hired. And now I don't even know really what I'm looking at here. I think this is Brian Kelly and a recruit that has committed. And I guess his name is Walker Howard. I don't know, but well, let me just. Oh, wait a minute. Every time I press the thing, the volume comes back on. I don't even really know what I'm looking at here, so I'm just going to play it.
I spent last night in the arms of a girl in Louisiana. Going out on the highway, my thoughts are still with her. Such a strange combination of...
Now, whoever produced this video, why did they have to hit the slow motion on Brian Kelly? That was wrong.
Hey.
I turned Dan Mullen into slow motion because it makes it funnier. So I don't know why they did it on purpose. That's horrible.
You can't fire Brian Kelly for looking like a tool, but you can fire whoever shot that video.
Yes.
I don't care if it's an intern, a student, or whatever. That was totally. They're trolling themselves at this point.
Yeah.
And that quarterback, he's a 5-star quarterback, I believe, and he was committed to LSU before Brian Kelly ever got there, which is the funniest part about it. I mean, it wasn't like they were trying to woo this kid; he was already going there.
Yeah. Very strange. You know, it's one thing when you see somebody's dancing videos in the locker room after a game. Like those are like spur of the moment things that aren't planned. And so, you know, maybe you see a
Yeah.
coach jumping around with the team or something, and it might look a little silly, but you understand it. But when it's a produced piece like that, or the Dan Mullen one, why? Why? It just makes you look silly. I can't take it. I can't take that
Right.
man seriously looking like that.
There's nobody can. Hey, you know, if I was working for one of these universities, especially LSU with Brian Kelly coming there, we already know with the fake Southern accent and all the crazy shit he's done over the past couple of weeks, I would be saying, let's keep this guy as normal as possible. Let's not put him in a room with blinking lights and a spinning camera and let him dance to crazy music. Let's just keep it low key. But they haven't seemed to figure that out yet. That's the greatest part about it.
Yeah. Like there needs to be somebody around. Like remember who was it? Was it Herm Edwards when I guess it was when Twitter first got popular and Herm Edwards or whoever it was working for NFL Live or something on ESPN, and some football player had tweeted something he shouldn't have tweeted, and Herm Edwards went on this huge rant about don't press send. Like there needs to be somebody in the room that can go, you know, I get what you're trying to do here, but maybe this isn't the best idea to put out on social media.
Let's not have this 60-year-old white guy who can't dance on a recruiting video. That's probably the best idea.
Yeah. Unchained Sports, thank you for the super chat. He says, "Are you reading super chats?" Yes. I'm ready to work for you. I emailed you. Am I hiring?
Are you?
Not that I knew.
Hmm.
I'm not sure. I'll have to check his email. I'm not sure what he's referring to, but I was unaware that I was hiring. I'll have to read the email. Thank you for the super chat, sir. I appreciate that. Super chat's right below the comment section. If you guys want to support the show and me and Pete, that's a great way to do it. You can attach a note or a comment just like Unchained Sports did, and we'll be happy to read it. There's also a PayPal link for those of you that have PayPal and don't mind using it. You can attach a note to your PayPal as well. We'll be happy to read that too. YouTube steals half your super chat. PayPal does not. So there you go. Jarvis, thank you for hitting the super chat. Brian Kelly has looked goofier in 2 weeks than he did his entire tenure at Notre Dame. Mullen 2.0. Is he going to be the new clown of the SEC? Maybe.
Well, you know what I think it is, Lou? I think he'll be the clown of the SEC unless he wins. But if you do that kind of bullshit and you lose, yeah, you'll be the clown of the SEC like Dan Mullen was.
Well, I can tell you out of LSU and Florida who's going to be losing, and that's going to be Florida.
Yeah.
I'm not even trolling. Florida could be staring down the barrel of a 5-year black hole. I mean, they're in bad shape. I think they're 77th in recruiting right now.
That's shocking.
I mean, it's they're losing players left and right. And then when you look, we talked about the Clemson schedule, Florida's schedule. Let me pull this up because I want to make sure I get this right. Hold up. We're going to get you on in just a second, Edward, I promise. Right after this. Florida football schedule. They play Utah, Pete. Now, you tell me if you had to, based on I know we don't know yet, recruiting classes, transfer markets, all that kind of stuff. You'd pick Florida to beat Utah right now?
Well, I don't know if I will. We'll wait till we see what happens closer to that game. But I can tell you, since this is a betting show, I bet Utah's favored.
It is in Florida. It's not a neutral site game, and it's week 1. And I don't know, roster-wise, I know I don't know anything about Utah as far as who's coming back, who they're losing, all that kind of stuff. But that's definitely not a pushover cupcake week 1 game like a lot of like you see a lot of times, not just from Florida but from a lot of teams. I mean that's a decent game. But then they play Kentucky week 2. They play at Tennessee week 4.
Hmm.
They have to play LSU like they do every year. Then listen to this. LSU, bye week, Georgia, at Texas A&M.
Oh, so you're from all the games you just named, I've seen maybe 1 or possibly 2 wins. Possibly. So, what is that, 2 and 4?
At Florida State to end the
Named
season.
like 6 games.
Man,
Yeah.
man. I do think it's possible Florida gets bowl eligible next year, though. If a few lucky bounces, a few things go their way, I could see Florida getting bowl eligible next year. What an accomplishment
sure.
that would be in Napier's first year.
It would be.
I really hope Edwards not going to come on and put Army in the clowning box. You don't think he will, do you?
No, we're not going to allow that. So.
I hope he's not going to put Army in the clowning box. Let's put him on and see. Morning, Edward.
Hey, morning, Lou. Morning, Pete. What's up, comment section?
How was your weekend, buddy?
Oh, amazing. As always.
That's good.
Yeah, rode the scooter like I always do.
Yeah.
Fun. And don't worry, as far as me putting Army in the clowning box, no.
Okay.
No, I'm not putting them in. I've got teams that are definitely going in. Army's not one of them.
Right.
Not on the list. Army, you can go on back to wherever you came from. Just celebrate at home. I'm not clowning you tonight. You got the night off.
Well, who is in the crosshairs today?
Well, who is in? Well, Wake Forest is in there. Iowa's in. I've also got Manny Diaz I'm going to clown up. And I'm also going to clown up, Mullen and Grantham.
All right. We better get started because that sounds like a
Sounds like a
really
lot of
long
clowning.
list. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. All right. Wake Forest. Guess what? It's time for you guys to go on into the clowning budget. Sorry, I know who the ACC man is, and I guarantee you can complain to him, but he's not going to let you out of the clowning box today. So it's time for you to go in the clowning box and take your medicine. The Wake Forest, you barely even got off the bus today, and you only were able to score 21 points against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh! You know how many points Pittsburgh put up on y'all? Try 45. Pittsburgh beat you 45-21. And Wake Forest, you lost to them. That's unacceptable. How do you lose to Pittsburgh? I mean, Pittsburgh basically pushed he beat basically the living bejesus out of you. So Wake Forest, you are garbage. Go on into the trash can. Okay, Wake Forest, you lost to Pittsburgh. That's unacceptable. All right, just go bye-bye. Bye-bye, Pittsburgh. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Wake Forest. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Wake Forest. Pittsburgh, you can go celebrate my private Starbucks. The family's waiting for you as much as you like. Wake Forest, all you get to do is eat your crow. Okay? Bye-bye, Wake Forest. That's the bottom line because I said so. All right. Iowa, you're next. So Michigan, congratulations. Same thing. Eat as much as you like. Watch the show. So Iowa, you were only able to score 3 points. That is unacceptable. I mean, usually, Iowa, you give Michigan problems. Oh, but guess what? Not this time. Michigan actually beat you 42-3. Iowa, Iowa, you're terrible. I mean, usually you do better, but no, this time, you are now garbage. Because Iowa, your defense, your offense, both are garbage. Guess what? Iowa, I'm done with you. You don't even need to try and do anything. I know who the Big Ten man is. So you're in the clown box. Now you're going to go bye-bye, Iowa. You're done. And that's the bottom line because I said so. Okay, so let's see. We got Todd Grantham and Dan Mullen. Well, you two got fired. Now we got, who we got? We got Bill Napier coming in. That's going to be interesting for Florida. See what Bill Napier can do. But anyway, Dan Mullen. Let's see. You were the head coach. And what just happened here? Yeah, you just got fired. So basically, the Florida Gators, that's on you. Offense is on you. Quarterbacks, that's all on you. Let's see, you had two quarterbacks that basically ended up being, what, hot doo-doo? Oh, yeah, that's just terrible. That's terrible for you. So Dan Mullen, you turn around, you fire your defensive coordinator, Todd Grantham. What? Yeah, he should. Yeah, I agree. He should have tightened up that defense. Yet he failed to do so. So you know what? You and Todd Grantham, guess what you two can do? You two can go ahead and go drive to Jacksonville. All right, hook up with that piece of trash, Urban Meyer. Open up your own strip club. Okay, you can call it the Clown Lounge because all y'all are going to end up clowns. And when you get it open. You can even, hey, Dan Mullen, you can have your wife be the featurette, and Urban Meyer, you can have your wife be a featurette. Guess who else you get there? Guess who else gets to be your featurette? You get to hook, you can have that stupid piece of trailer park trash, Cayman, Nebraska, be your other featurette, okay? And then you guys can contact Hugh Freeze, okay? Have him come on over. Bring some extra, about 4 Bibles, and hookers, ladies of the evening, okay? Y'all can have them come on down. So let's see. Mr. Grantham, you get one. Yeah, Hugh Freeze, you can have a lot of your hookers be the feature acts, okay? That'll be fine. All right. Anyway, so Todd Grantham, Urban Meyer, Dan Mullen, Hugh Freeze, guess what you guys get to do? All y'all get, well, you're already going to do it, Hugh Freeze, but let's see. Grantham, Mullen, Urban Meyer, all y'all get your Bibles, have one Bible, have a Bible in one hand, get your prostitute in the other. Y'all can start running around in the club about 5 times, and then when you're done with that, you can go on outside, run around there 5 times, then all y'all can go jump into the trash can, eat your crows that's waiting for you in there, and just look like, 4 jackasses in the trash can that don't know what the hell they're doing. And that's the bottom line because I said so, you stupid pricks. Okay, Manny Diaz, you're next on the list. So let's see, what shall we talk about for you, Mr. Manny Diaz? You know, you were the head coach at the U. Gee, I'd love to know what on earth did the U see in you? Well, I'll tell you what they saw in you. You're just playing garbage because, Mr. Manny Diaz, let's see. You played against at home against Virginia, and you lost to Virginia. That is unacceptable. How do you lose to Virginia? Can you even explain that? Oh, I bet you can. So you lose to Virginia. Let's talk about another one. Oh, you even played against my White Tontos, Florida State. And you lost to them. How do you lose to Florida State? Tell me that one. Oh, you couldn't beat Florida State. Oh, that's unacceptable too. And then let's see. Here we go. You also played against Duke, and you really thought you could beat Duke? Lou, hit the buzzer for me, please.
Sorry, I almost fell asleep there.
Thank you. That's okay. That's what you get, Mr. Diaz and Miami Hurricanes. And here's another one. You even played FIU and you lost. I don't get it. How do you lose to FIU? Let's hear the Price is Right sound. This is for you, Mr. Diaz and Miami. FIU. That's what you get. You're lost to FIU. How do you lose to FIU? Explain it to me. I love to hear it. Oh, you got no explanation. Because you can't explain it. Because you're a dumbass prick, Manny Diaz. Of course. After all there. Okay. And you're playing your ball game against Louisiana Tech. And you lose to Louisiana Tech with a shutout. How do you do that? Again, that's unacceptable. I'm just so glad you got fired. Oh, please hit the you big dummy for me. This is for you, Manny Diaz in Miami.
Oh,
What happened?
are you still there, Edward?
Yeah, I'm here. I said, hit the you big dummy for me, please. This is for you, Manny.
You big dummy.
Thank you, appreciate that. Manny Diaz, that's for you. And this was in 2019, Mr. Manny Diaz. You were the coach. Else, that's unacceptable. I mean, what can I say about you? See, and the problem with you is, you don't Miami, you fans need to realize something. Hey, Miami fans, in that comment section, if you're there, you know, y'all can go ahead and call Uncle Lou tomorrow night. Eat your crow and complain about how bad Miami is. Because if you're not going to do that, Uncle Lou's just going to have no interest in even talking to you. And I'm that same way. So, anyway, you fired Manny Diaz, and here's the thing, you're going to be rotating coaches about every 3 or 4 years. You're going to be doing the same song and dance that you do every year, and you know what? It's ridiculous. We'll just have to see what Super Mario does. Hopefully, he doesn't, hopefully Super Mario doesn't do the same song and dance that Diaz is doing. Because if he does, it's going to be terrible. Because 3, 4 years rotating coaches, and if they fire Super Mario in 2024, 2025, get another coach. Every 3, 4 years, rotating coaches. That's terrible, terrible, terrible. But anyway, good luck, Miami. You're really going to need it. And that's the bottom line, because I said so, you stupid prick.
We just set a Lunch Money Show record. That's the longest trash talking session by Edward so far.
Yeah. Thanks, Edward.
Thank you.
All right. We'll talk to you next Monday.
You got it. Y'all have a good night.
You too, buddy.
Much.
All right. Edward with his clown box routine there. Thank you, Edward.
He's been practicing that shit for 2 weeks. Dude.
Yeah. Not having a show last week. He had to go ahead and double up today, didn't he?
Yeah.
Dang. Well, Pete, I figured what we would do, and I think this is what we did last year. I guess we'll talk about all the games that are played between now and next Monday. And then next Monday, we'll talk about all the games that are played between next Monday and the following Monday. I guess would be the best thing to do.
I mean, whatever you want to do. The ones that are played between now and next Monday aren't very exciting, but
No.
Yeah.
Well, we'll run through them quick, and then we'll see. Maybe we can give initial thoughts on some of the bigger ones that are coming up later in the month. Bowl season starts Friday. Bahamas Bowl, Toledo and Middle Tennessee State. I have no opinion on that game at all. It comes on noon on Friday, so I don't even know if anyone's watching that game. I would rather watch Coastal Carolina and Northern Illinois. than I would
Yeah.
Toledo versus Middle Tennessee State.
Can I give an opinion, very unwarranted, uneducated, and probably a moronic opinion on the Toledo and Middle Tennessee State game?
Yes.
Because I have not seen a single Toledo. Well, maybe I have. Did Toledo play? They played somebody in the Power 5 week 1. I can't remember who it was now. Somebody in the Big Ten. Might have been.
Well, they played. I know they played either Notre Dame or Ohio State close. One of those two.
Yeah, I
which
think
one
Notre
it was.
Dame might have been. I have not seen the Middle Tennessee State game all year, so I'm not going to pretend like I know what's going on there. But I don't know if you guys, maybe some of the Lunch Money Show original cast or viewers have been around here for the past year and a half since we've been doing the show. Do you remember what my philosophy on bowl game betting is, especially in the early games?
I don't remember.
Typically over. Typically over. I don't really mess with the lines because I don't know enough about the rosters to be either one of these teams to make an educated guess on that. But what I have found is that typically betting the over on the early games that nobody gives a shit about, I have usually about a 65% winning rate on that. Now, that's over a period of probably 3 or 4 seasons. Well, ever since I've been on YouTube. Last year was the opposite. Last year the unders were the bet, but so 3 out of 4 seasons the over has been the best bet. So especially if it's around 50 or 51 like this one is, I'm going over. And the reason is, and I don't really know the reason, to do that specifically, but typically these lower level games early in the season or early in the bowl season, these teams have nothing to lose, not playing for anything other than a bowl win. You don't have a lot of players sitting out because they're lower level teams, and they go for 2 on, they go for it on every 4th down. They go for 2 on every touchdown. It seems like they do trick plays. It's typically higher scoring than a typical game as if it was in October, let's say. The same 2 teams in October would not score as many points as they would in a bowl season. So that's usually why I go over, and I like that number 50. Anything, like I said, between 45 and 55 in these lower level games, I'm going over. So I'm going over in this one. I'm not sure if I'm going to bet it yet, but that will be my play if I did do it.
What do you think about? Did you hear what Mike Leach said about players sitting out?
Yeah, and he was correct. Bigfoot was correct.
Yeah, but can you believe he said it out loud?
If it were anybody other than Mike Leach, maybe, but no, not with him.
Yeah. I mean, he said like the same things a lot of us fans have been saying. Like, he basically called them quitters.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm just surprised the coach came and said it out loud because they usually, look, these coaches aren't happy when players sit out, but they're kind of in a box because if they say anything, then it might piss off the other players or future potential players. I was just surprised he said it out loud, but you make a good point. It's Mike Leach. No filter between brain and mouth with him, which is great as a fan. I mean, we always ask for that. We always complain about coach speak. There's no coach speak from Mike Leach. You don't get that. It took me by surprise to hear him actually say it out loud. But I'm with you. If you were to tell me there's going to be a college coach that comes out and calls players that opt out quitters, who do you think it's going to be? Mike Leach would have been on the top of my list of guesses.
Yeah, he's definitely a diamond in the rough. With him, it's like, he doesn't look. He could say something that might get him fired. I don't know how old he is. What is he 60 years old? He's in the late 50s at the least. I have no doubt Mike Leach gets fired for something he says as an opinion. He'll have a happy life. He's made enough money. He didn't give a shit. He just doesn't care.
B. Bean says, "Why lose your knee for a meaningless game?" My response to that would be a question. It would be, what is your definition of a meaningless game? What if you're 4-4 heading into November. Why are you playing the November games? Aren't they meaningless if you're 4-4?
Hey, I'll take it to another level. Trevor Lawrence was going to be the number 1 pick overall in the draft last year, whether he played in the playoffs last year or not. Why didn't he sit out the playoff game?
Right. He could have sat out his entire junior year.
Look, the playoff game to Trevor Lawrence last year was meaningless as far as the NFL is concerned.
Yeah.
So why did he play in it?
I guess to me, there's just no such thing as a meaningless game.
Of course not.
And I think I've made this point before, and I'm not trying to change anybody's mind, because you're not going to change anybody's mind, especially the players. And this thing's only going to get worse. It's not like all of a sudden the players are going to go, oh, you know what? Maybe we should play. No, it's just going to get worse. But what about okay, you're a quarterback. You're sitting out. What about a senior wide receiver on your team who's borderline NFL talent? It maybe needs another game. I don't know. It seems I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm never going to change my mind on it either. So.
Yeah, I think that actually me and you and people like us are in the majority. I think there's a very loud subsect of people that are like, hey, it's meaningless. Well, they're all meaningless when it comes down to it.
Right.
I mean, these guys have been evaluated for years. If you're a third-year player or a fourth-year player, the NFL scouts have been watching you for 3 years. It's not like they just started watching you in the playoffs or in bowl season. So every game can be meaningless in some way if you want to look at it that way. But I don't know. I mean, I think that the players that stick it out through the season and play the entire game that they're healthy to play are ones that typically succeed at a higher level in the NFL more often than not.
Yeah. My favorite is when they sit out the bowl game and then play in the Senior Bowl. What are you doing, man?
Yeah.
You're playing in an all-star game on 1 week on 1 week of practice. Okay, all right.
Yeah, the all-star game is a high school game. What it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like it. And now I don't know. I don't have a list of like who's opted out or whatever, but what about betting on New Year's 6 games like last Sunday? Like the day the games were announced and the lines came out? Like let's say I don't know. Let's say you like whatever the line is for Ohio State and Utah. And the game gets announced and a line gets put out. And you go, you know what? I think a lot of these Ohio State players might sit out. I'm going to bet Utah now because I think once they opt out, the line will change. I guess you could do that. I think it's dangerous to bet on bowl games until the week of the game because of the opt-out situation.
Yeah.
I mean, what if you would have bet on last year? I mean, this is just the most prominent example in recent memory, but last year's Oklahoma-Florida game, I believe it was the Orange Bowl, looked like a great matchup the day it was announced. A line came out. If you would have bet Florida that day, you were giving money away because by the time the game was played, their entire offense had quit. You know?
Yeah.
Now, had you bet Oklahoma that day, then you end up on the right side of the line because it moved a ton towards Oklahoma. But I don't know. I don't bet on these bowl games. Now, the playoffs, that's different because at least for now, it's safe to assume no one is going to opt out of or quit a playoff game. So if the line comes out on the playoff game and you have a feeling on it one way or the other, I think it's okay to bet those games early. But even the New Year's 6 games, we've seen people sit out. I mean, Georgia's had players sit out 3 years in a row in New Year's 6 bowl games. So
I agree with you on the surface there about the playoff versus a regular bowl game that they might not consider to be important. I don't bet on any postseason game, period. Especially, I say postseason after the championship week, because I've been burned in the past. Because this is what happens: is that even if they don't opt out, they go home for Christmas. They go to a Christmas party, and they get arrested for public drunkenness, or they smoke some weed with their friends from high school, or I don't know. Something always happens to somebody during the Christmas holiday before the playoffs start. So even if they're not opting out, they still might get in trouble just by being a 21-year-old kid like we all were one day and getting in trouble for it. So I don't bet the postseason games, especially the playoff games, until like the day before.
Yeah.
I want to know who's suspended. I want to know who's opting out. I want to know the whole thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, if your best player, gets arrested because he went to a drinking party, during Christmas, that can really fuck it up.
Yeah.
As far as the line's concerned.
B. Bean says that's the risk of betting. You have to make informed decisions. Which is why I said
Really?
I don't bet the bowl games until the week of the game, because your decision can be
Yeah.
much more informed at that point, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
And I
Oh,
wanna be clear
and then the
that
other
I'm not
thing.
hating on these players.
the other
not
thing
hating
with
on
the
these players for
with the
getting in
Florida thing, Kyle Trask goes, "Well, I'm going to play," and then he quits at halftime. So you can't even
Yeah.
waiting until the day of the game. You don't know, because now I don't know. Is there more risk of injury in second half versus first? I don't know. I'd have to ask Kyle Trask because I'm not sure. But anyway, let's move on. I talked about that enough, I guess. I don't know. Back to these quote-unquote meaningless bowl games. Coastal Carolina and Northern Illinois. Northern Illinois, like one win last year. Then they won their conference this year and beat Georgia Tech.
They beat Georgia Tech.
Yeah. After winning one game last year and then won their conference. They're taking on Coastal Carolina. You surprised that head coach is still there?
I am kind of, yeah. With all the coaching changes that have taken place, I think he would have been somewhere in the hierarchy. But what we've seen, it's been weird, man. With all the Power 5 coaching changes that have taken place, it's been more of a rotation of other Power 5 coaches going to other schools than it has been promotions from the Group of 5. But I would listen. If you would have told me there's going to be whatever it is, 20-something head coaching changes in FBS, and Coastal Carolina's coach isn't one of them, I definitely would have called bullshit on that.
Yeah.
But it's just been the rotation of Power 5 coaches going to other schools. So it is weird. Northern Illinois is actually a good team. I know we're clowning on them. They did beat Georgia Tech. I don't know. I don't know about the line here. I think I would probably go over the 64, and that looks like a number that's high, right? And this is the thing with the betting on the over and under in these lower level bowl games, is you go, man, 64 sounds high even for college. Look, man, there might be 100 points scored in this game.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. 64 seems low to me. So if I do bet this, I'll take the over. I don't know anything about the line, though. I guess if I was going to bet the line, I probably would take Coastal Carolina just because they seem to be the more prominent team. But 10.5 points seems like a lot to me in a bowl game.
The Boca Raton Bowl, App State at Western Kentucky. Okay. The Celebration Bowl, South Carolina State versus Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders, 10-point favorite in that one. New Mexico Bowl. All these games are on Saturday, by the way. Those first two were on Friday.
Yeah.
These are on Saturday. UTEP and Fresno State.
UTEP.
Yeah, UTEP. The comment section's favorite team.
Yeah.
And the Independence Bowl. Now, here's one you can bet on. It's there's generally, I mean, people, I think, at least you should know enough about each of these two teams to bet this one. UAB at BYU. BYU a 7-point favorite. Of course, I'm obviously taking UAB here, but that could be a good game.
So how about I do this? I'm going to do this just for the show, and because I don't give a fuck, right?
Right.
Let's do this. I'm going to take the over in Toledo, Minnesota. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first 5 games of the bowl season. We're just gonna do an experiment here. Why not? I'll be the guinea pig. I'm gonna take the over in every single one of them. I'm doing it right now as we're speaking here. All the way down to the UTEP game. So that's 5. That's UTEP and Fresno State, South Carolina State, Jackson State, Appalachian State, Western Kentucky, Coastal Carolina, Northern Illinois, and Toledo and Middle Tennessee State. I'm going to take the over in all of those without even looking at the lines or the over-unders. And I'm going to put, what do you want to do, $50?
All right.
We do 50? Let's see here. I'll have to log back in. Got timed out. I'm going to put $50 on all of those. No, let's not get crazy. What should I do? $25 on all of them? $25 on them. And let's see how this works out. Let's test my theory out. We haven't done this yet, I don't think. Have we?
No. I mean, you've tested it out the last 3 years.
I have, and yeah, you're right. But let's do it just for the show. That's all this is for. I'm sacrificing my own money up for some research purposes for the show here.
Yeah,
All
we're
right,
scientists.
So, yeah, all right, 25. I'm gonna do that, not 50. I'm not gonna get crazy here. 25 on all of those, and we'll see how we come out. I'm guessing I'm gonna get at least 3 out of the 5 on the over. Now watch me lose all 5. So what this is I risk 165 to win 150. Let's do it. All right, it's in there. So there, you have my answer on the UAB by BYU game.
Yeah.
Over 55.
Unchained Sports, thank you again for the super chat. He says, "I'm Matthew. I will even work for free until you hire me on." What position are you applying for? Am I hiring?
Straight sweeper.
Did I make some kind of a comment sometime in the last week or something that I don't remember making? I don't know. Not sure.
I don't think it's so much as you're hiring as you're firing.
I do like firing people.
Yeah, me too.
I do enjoy that.
I fired myself every week for the past 4 years.
Yeah.
100% success rate.
I will even work for free until you hire me on. I guess email me. I'm confused. I don't really know. I don't know what I'm hiring for, and I don't know what you're applying for. But I mean, you can email me or something. I guess you said you already did. I guess I'll check the email tomorrow. But I'm just confused.
He's trying to get hired so he can get fired to collect unemployment. I know this game.
Oh, okay. Moving right along here. Eastern Michigan at Liberty, okay, that's the Lending Tree Bowl. The LA Bowl, Oregon State at Utah State. So this is the first Power 5 game, I guess, or at least one of the teams is a Power 5 team, Oregon State.
Yes.
7.5-point favorite against Utah State. I'll take Utah State. In fact, I might even take Utah State on the money line, plus 240. Cha-ching.
Well, I'm glad we disagree on this. Give me the Beavs. Give me the Beavers.
The New Orleans Bowl. Marshall at UL Lafayette. UL Lafayette has no coach for this game. He's in Gainesville destroying the Florida program. Marshall at UL Lafayette. Okay.
Hey, how bad do you have to be to get fired by Dabo Swinney?
Oh, God. Who got fired? Oh, Billy Napier. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. Dang.
He got fired by Dabo Swinney. And the worst offense in Dabo Swinney's tenure.
Yeah. Dang.
I think they were what were they that year? 4-8. So, oh man, it was bad. It had a losing season. I know that.
Wow. Hey.
They got fired. And according to some of the folk tales, Dabo Swinney fired Billy Napier, and Billy Napier punched him in the face.
What?
Yeah,
Damn.
that's the folk tale. The folk tale is that he called him in his office, fired him, and Dabo Swinney got laid out.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have not heard that
Yep.
story.
Yeah, I've been telling that story for the past 3 or 4 weeks. Well, ever since the Billy Napier stuff's been coming up. I don't know if it's true or not. There's really nobody that can confirm or deny it. But that is the folk tale. That is the folk tale.
There's a story like that. Not doesn't involve anybody getting fired, but there's a story about Jeremy Pruitt showing up at Mark Richt's house one Sunday morning, looking for a fight.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Now, you can think whatever you want about Mark Richt. If that story is true, that's probably the first person that ever wanted to fight Mark Richt.
Yeah, and same
I
with,
mean, he's
with
like
Dabo.
literally Mr. Nice Guy. He's too nice was the problem.
Yeah, same with Dabo. And honestly, Dabo, he's in good shape too. He might have let I don't know if I want to fuck with him. Seriously, that Mayberry shit only goes so far until you're throwing hands with him. You know.
I don't know. And then the last bowl game before we do the morning show or the Lunch Money show is next Monday, 2:35 p.m. The Myrtle Beach Bowl, Tulsa and Old Dominion at 2:30 in the afternoon on a Monday. God Almighty. Let's see. Do I want to watch Days of Our Lives or do I want to watch the Myrtle Beach Bowl? Probably Days of Our Lives.
Well, let me go ahead and tell you this right now. Tulsa by 30. Why is it -9?
I don't know.
Give me Tulsa -30 and the over is 53. Parlay that for a big win.
Tune into the Lunch Money Show every Monday night for all your degenerate gambling needs. Parlaying the Tulsa Old Dominion game that comes on 2:30 on a Monday.
The Myrtle Beach Bowl.
Oh, man. Yeah, if you're tired of betting NFL preseason games, check out the Myrtle Beach Bowl.
You know what's funny about that game? I don't even think they played in Myrtle Beach. I think it's in Conway, South Carolina.
It is
like
in Conway.
Myrtle Beach is. Yeah, it's like if Myrtle Beach is in the armpit of America, Conway is the armpit of America.
Yeah.
It's like even worse than Myrtle Beach.
Wow. And then let's skip over the majority of these other games, and because we'll talk about all of them next week. And you want to just give like some of our thoughts on the New Year's 6 games and the playoff games? You want to do that?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Let's skip to those. So again, we're going to talk about all these games, but we'll talk about them maybe next Monday. So we're not going to skip any of them in the long run. But the first New Year's 6 game this year, Thursday, December 30th, 7 o'clock, Atlanta, Georgia, the Peach Bowl. Pitt at Michigan State. And I think I've been saying this since this game was announced. I don't understand this because Kenny Pickett, if he's playing, how is Pitt not a 10-point favorite?
This is why you do not bet on games early because I'm watching this like a hawk, man. If Pickett's playing, give me Pitt. I've heard reports that he's not playing. He hasn't said specifically whether or not he is or not playing. But his lack of commitment to the bowl tells me he's not playing. That's probably why the line is the way it is.
And is Kenneth Walker playing for Michigan State, running back?
No idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm telling you, if Pickett's playing in this game, Pittsburgh will win by double digits.
Yeah, I mean Michigan State,
And-
literally the worst pass defense in college football, not figuratively, literally 130th out of 130. And people say, well, that's because they got lit up by Ohio State. They were 130th before they played Ohio State.
Yeah. Now, look, the secondary is no good. There's no doubt about that. And Pickett's one of the. I mean, look, man, runner-up Heisman. I mean, the guys that look. Oh, he plays in the ACC. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
The guy is going to be a first-round pick. The guy is a real deal. If he plays in this game, it will be a blowout, I think.
Yeah.
Or at least it'll be high scoring. I don't know about a blowout because I don't know if Pittsburgh defense, who's sitting out on that. But give me Pittsburgh and the over 59.5 in this game.
The next one, well, you got the playoff games on Friday. We'll come back to those in a second. The Fiesta Bowl, New Year's Day, 1 o'clock, Oklahoma State at Notre Dame, or versus Notre Dame, in the Fiesta Bowl. And I know Notre Dame lost their coach. I really think Notre Dame could get their first major postseason win since 1989 or whatever it is in this one. Am I wrong?
This is a hard one, man. This might be one of the best games of the season, honestly. Got a lot of hype surrounding Notre Dame. I mean, these guys, they're feeling really high about themselves. They love their new hire. I get all that. Oklahoma State's done nothing but win all year. I mean, really impressive team.
Yeah.
I'm saying give me Oklahoma State at +2. I'm not real confident about that. I'm going to wait till the last minute if I do actually bet this. But Oklahoma State's legit, man. They could easily be undefeated right now. Notre Dame lost to Cincinnati, and that's it. That's impressive too. But they lost at home to Cincinnati. New head coach. Oklahoma State's got the same coaches there that have been there. Give me the Cowboys as the underdog in that one, I think.
Yeah,
right now.
I'm going to bet Oklahoma State in this game because if I'm wrong on this game, I don't want it to be because I bet on Notre Dame because of their track record. But, like, you know how ESPN does those confidence picks where, if you're picking 10 games, you have to rank them in order of 10 to 1, 10 being the most confident, 1 being the least confident. This would be like my 1.
Yeah.
Like it's like a 1 that Notre Dame wins this. Maybe if I were to pick Notre Dame, you're going to look silly if you take Notre Dame and lose because everyone's going to go, well, of course they lost. It's a major bowl game. You're going to look silly, but
right.
So we'll see. But
Hey,
like you said, they could be
can I say one
undefeated.
more thing
Oklahoma
about this?
State. They should have beat Baylor. They had 8 plays inside the 5-yard line at the end of that game and didn't score. And it's just that is what it is. They're still in a New Year's Six game, and so is Baylor. But Oklahoma State is a good team. They're no pushover.
I know these are two good defenses too. Oklahoma State, one of the best defenses in the country, not just in the Big 12. Notre Dame had a really solid defense, but the over/under is 45. This might be the pigskin Pete lock of the bowl season week or whatever, or week 1 bowl season, whatever. Over 45. Oklahoma State's defensive coordinator is gone. I know it doesn't have the same defense there. I think it's going to go way over 45. I'm saying 30 to 20, 30 to 24, way over 45. I like by 2 scores. Give me over 45 in this game. I like that better than the line, actually.
Yeah. Huffer Billy Paul, thank you for the super chat. He says over under on South Carolina beating Clemson in the next 4 years. 4 is the number.
In the next 4 years? I mean, that's a long time, dude.
I don't think there's any.
Even as a homer, I'd say Carolina wins one of those.
Yeah,
I mean,
like Georgia, Florida. It would be hard for me to predict at any given point in time that Georgia's going to beat them 4 years straight.
If Clemson won 4 more in a row, that means they would win 11 in a row. They've won 7 now.
Yeah,
that's a long time, dude. Give me. I'll take the under. Give me. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like Alabama, Auburn. I would probably bet that Auburn would beat them once in the next 4 years. I'm trying to think of other games like that. Well, here's one that's similar to the South Carolina Clemson one. What about Tennessee, Florida?
Ooh,
Would anybody? I would bet that Tennessee beats Florida once in the next 4 years. I would probably even bet Tennessee beats
Hell, they'll beat
Georgia
them next
once in
year.
the next 4. Yeah.
Tennessee will be at Florida next year, probably. I mean, don't you think?
I think it's very likely. Hendon Hooker's coming back, which
Yeah.
is great. I get a whole nother year of my hoe routine with Hendon Hooker. So that's good news for me. All right. That was the Fiesta Bowl. The Rose Bowl. Utah and Ohio State. Ohio State is favored by 6.5. So now, if everybody on Ohio State plays, I think Ohio State can win this game by 10 or so. Another factor with bowl games that you always have to, because it's not just who's the better team in these bowl games. Of course, it's who's opting out. But then you have to look at motivation, too. Is Ohio State excited to be in the Rose Bowl? Probably not. Is Utah? Yes, they're ecstatic.
That is sad
I
and
like
embarrassing.
Utah.
If Ohio State's not excited to be in the Rose Bowl, that's a problem.
Of course they're not. Of course they're not. They were going to the playoffs until 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I still don't believe that, man.
Plus, you got the Ryan Day to Chicago deal swirling around.
Yeah. Well, that's the reason we wait till the end to bet on these things, because we don't know what's going to happen with that. If Ryan Day's there, and I would be willing to bet that 2 out of those top 3 receivers will play in this game.
Yeah.
Maybe not all of them, but 2 out of 3 is enough. And if that's the case, at under a touchdown, give me Ohio State. Now, I won't touch it now because I'm too scared that somebody's going to sit out or Ryan Day's going to leave or whatever the case is. But if this thing is anywhere close to a touchdown the day before the game, I'm taking the Buckeyes.
Yeah, see, I feel the opposite way. I think I'm going to take Utah, and I might even bet it early because I don't think for a second that anybody on Utah is going to announce they're not playing. So if the line moves anywhere, I think it's going to move in Utah's favor based on potentially some Ohio State players quitting. And I think Utah can beat them even if no one sits out for Ohio State, maybe, if Ohio State shows up not really wanting to be there. So I might actually bet this one early and take Utah plus 6.5. Who's the better coached team, you think?
Oh, well, that's different. Who's got more talent is what I'm more worried about. And I know you're probably looking at what most people are looking at, say, Oregon beat Ohio State in Ohio State's place. Utah's owned Oregon, destroyed them twice. So Utah is better than Oregon, who beat Ohio State, right? We're doing the transitive property thing here, and that does make a lot of sense. But at the end of the day, I still think Ohio State's way superior to Utah.
Yeah.
And I think that the line should be higher than it is, really. But give me the Buckeyes. And believe me, it pains me to say that.
Yeah. I know you have no love for Ohio State.
No.
The Sugar Bowl, Baylor and Ole Miss. Now, I think this could be a good game. This one's a pick'em, actually.
Oh, this might be it. I love this game.
I do, too. I hope everybody plays in this one. I really do.
Me too.
I think this could be a great game.
Give me-
I'm an SEC homer. I guess I'm going to go with Ole Miss here, but, man, Baylor could definitely win this game.
Man, put all of your money, your mortgage money. If you have kids and you have Christmas money, just forget about buying them presents. Put all of your money on the over. It's only 55.
Yeah.
These are 2 really good offenses here. I know Baylor's defense is decent and Mississippi's defense is decent. I think this game will be close to 100. Might double the over-under.
Damn.
Give me the over 55.
That's
This could be
pretty
like
serious.
50 to 45 or 50 to 40. I don't know what the over-under here is on this. Is Matt Corral playing in this game? Do you know?
I haven't heard one way or the other.
That might be one of the reasons for it, actually. This is another reason
He
you don't bet
hasn't
before you
opted
know
out
that.
yet.
But
He hasn't opted out yet.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's come out and emphatically said, yes, I'm playing 100% for sure, period, no
yeah,
matter what.
I feel
don't
like
know
if he
either.
plays, go way over. This 55 might be scored by one team, not just 2. So give me the over.
Yeah.
Take it all day.
All right, and then you got the two playoff games. You've got the Cotton Bowl at 3:30, Cincinnati versus Alabama at Jerry World in Arlington, Texas. Bama a 13.5-point favorite in that one.
Yeah. Well,
here's what I know
nobody's
about
staying out of this
Cincinnati.
game.
Cincinnati's got a better secondary than Georgia. Cincinnati's got 3 NFL players in their secondary. They've got a better quarterback than Georgia. Georgia's obviously more talented top to bottom than Cincinnati, but so it's not like Cincinnati's. I mean, look, Cincinnati's in the playoffs for a reason, and people are going to say, "Oh, they're going to get blown out." Everyone gets blown out in the playoffs. Have you watched football in the last 7 years? Everyone gets blown out in the playoffs, so it's not going to be a surprise to me if Alabama beats them by 30 or something. I mean, we see it all the time. But there's a lot of disrespect towards Cincinnati that I think is going a little overboard. I mean, Cincinnati's a good team, and they've got legitimate NFL talent on both sides of the ball. Not Alabama talent by a mile. Alabama's without Mechie. Now, if you look at the Alabama-Auburn game, when Jamison Williams could not play, he got kicked out in the first quarter for targeting. Alabama's offense didn't exist for the rest of the game with one of the 2 wide receivers gone. Now, in the Georgia game, Mechie went down. Alabama wasn't as good offensively in the second half as they were. I mean, you look at the second quarter, that game was over in the second quarter. I mean, Alabama outscored Georgia 24-0 in the second quarter. That game was over at that point. They scored 24 points in the second quarter. Mechie goes down. Offense, didn't struggle, but the offense was not what it was in the second half. Alabama's offense was not what it was in the first half once one of those wide receivers was down. Now they've got 3 or 4 weeks now before this game to get another receiver ready to step in at the number 2 where Mechie was. But I wouldn't be surprised if this was a 14-point game. I don't think this is, like, I've heard people say this line should be 24. The line is probably about right. Like, I think they're probably getting a lot of action on both sides of this thing here, I would assume. I mean, I know Alabama's going to get more because they're the big name, like as far as percentage of bets or whatever, but Cincinnati, they play up to the competition. I mean,
you are right about that, and it's difficult for me to pick against Alabama, obviously, because I just lost a bet to Law Tide, and I thought Georgia was going to roll Alabama, and I was wrong about that. And by the way, so were a lot of other people. It wasn't just Pigskin Pete. It was the majority of the country thought that Georgia was going to roll Alabama.
Yeah.
I think but football, especially college football, is all about matchups, and I think Alabama's a better team. Obviously, I mean nobody's disputing that, are we, at this point?
No.
They have the better recruits. They have just a better program all around. Cincinnati's, a little bit over their head in this game. 13.5 points, I think, is a little bit of a trap. Here's what I worry about with Cincinnati. They might be able to play with Alabama with their first string. It's all about depth. If Cincinnati gets down, let's say they get down quick, 14-0 or 24-3 or something like that, there's no way they're coming back from that. It's all a mental game. They look over across, who they're playing against. They see Nick Saban, they see the Alabama A, and I think they start to give up. They start feeling down on themselves, and that's normal in college football. So that's what worries me. I would say Cincinnati is every good as 14 points. They can keep within 14 points of Alabama on any given week. In the playoffs, though, I think Cincinnati is going to be a rude awakening for them. Like you talked about earlier, that there's a lot of blowouts in these games in the playoffs, and there has been every single year. And I think we're probably going to see one here. So give me Alabama at -13.5. I think they'll probably win by 3 or 4 scores, and that's not just based on what they did to Georgia last week. That's just based on the fact that it's Cincinnati. If we're Alabama, Michigan, I would probably say if it was 13.5 points, I would take Michigan all day. But it's not. It's Cincinnati, and this is This is a whole new rodeo for them, man. This is not playing against Notre Dame on the road in a regular season game.
Right.
This is the playoffs, man. So for that reason and that reason only, give me Bama to roll big in this one.
Yeah. I agree with everything you said. And if you look at some of the past big bowl games that these group of 5 teams have gotten themselves into, if you want to look at Georgia, Cincinnati last year, or Central Florida and Auburn in 2017, where Central Florida actually won the game, it gets back to one of my theories about bowl games, which is motivation. In 2017, yeah, Central Florida would have liked to have made the playoffs, but still, they were more than excited to be in a New Year's Six game.
Yeah.
Auburn was on their way to the playoffs until they lost in the SEC title game. And so the bowl game becomes a consolation prize for Auburn in that particular year. And Central Florida showed up and beat them. Very similar situation last year in the Georgia-Cincinnati game. Georgia, playoff expectations before the season, then they don't even win their division. They're playing in their 3rd straight New Year's Six game against Cincinnati, and Cincinnati gave them everything they could handle. Georgia hit a field goal at the end to win it. The problem here is that Cincinnati's not playing an Alabama team that is this is no consolation game for Alabama. This is why Alabama started the season, was to play in this game. Every other game Alabama has played has been the consolation games. When you're Alabama, when you're Clemson, when you're Oklahoma, Ohio State, Georgia, whatever, your whole season is building towards this game every year. The other games are the consolation games, and I just don't see how you can bet against Alabama, especially at 13.5, under that magic number of 14, 2 touchdowns. It feels like you have to take Alabama here. And, we didn't do a show last Monday. So do you have a problem with Cincinnati being in the playoffs?
No, I don't at all. Not with the way that things played out. I mean, I think they earned their way in there. They're undefeated. If there would have been, let's put it this way, if Oklahoma State had won that game at the last minute on that last play, I think they should have been in there ahead of Cincinnati, but they didn't.
Yeah.
So, is it who's better or who's more deserving? That's the debate that goes on year after year since the playoffs have started.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you're Oklahoma State, you've got to win that game against Baylor to deserve to get in the playoffs. So I think Cincinnati earned their way in there legitimately based on what happened around them. So I do think they deserve to be there, and I do think that I think they're a top 5 team.
Yeah.
Are they top 4? I mean, you can debate on 4 and 5 all friggin' day, or even 4 to 6 or 4 to 7. We can sit here and have a debate all day you want, but bottom line is they earned their way in there. I do think that they're a legitimately top 5 team, but when it comes to beating either Alabama, Michigan, probably too, or even Georgia, the 3 guys ahead of them, I would say that they probably have a very, very slight chance to beat any of those guys on any given day on the playoffs. I just do. I mean, nothing has changed as far as that's concerned. I just don't think Cincinnati has a chance to win the national championship. That's all. I mean,
yeah.
But they deserve to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, if Oklahoma State finds a way to score with 8 opportunities inside the 5-yard line at the end of the game,
yeah,
I would have been okay with putting Oklahoma State at 4 and Cincinnati at 5. I would have been fine with that. You're looking at a 1-loss Power 5 champion versus a 0-loss Group of 5 champion. I probably lean towards the Group of 5 team there. Same thing with had Oregon run the table and been 12-1 and Pac-12 champs. Okay, then put Oregon at 4 and Cincy at 5. I mean, whatever on down the list, however far you want to go down the list, So I didn't think a Group of 5 team would ever get in. I didn't think a Group of 5 team would ever get in. But how many? What do we have? Is it 2? 1-loss conference champs. That's it, right? 2 1-loss conference champions.
Yeah,
that's
2
it.
of them.
Yeah, that's it.
Alabama and Ohio State, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. and one no-loss conference champion, and that's Cincinnati. So I don't see how it makes sense to me that this is the year that a Group of 5 team got in, and I know what's going to happen if Bama wins this game by 24. But it's the same thing that happens when Oklahoma gets blown out or Notre Dame gets blown out, or insert whatever team here that's that's been blown out in the play. They always say that, well, I told you they shouldn't have been in. Well, who are you going to put in? I mean, someone's getting blown out in the playoffs. It just happens every year.
Based on the way that things played out this year, Cincinnati deserves to be in the playoffs, period. I don't care if they lose 50-0. They earned it. You earn it, you don't. I mean, and I said before this, not before the season started, but after about 3 or 4 weeks, I think we were about 4 weeks into the season, I made the prediction, I think here on the Lunch Money Show, I said, this is going to be the season. We're either going to see one of two things happen. It's either going to be a Group of 5 team gets in, or we see a 2-loss team get in. We've never seen either one of those, but one of those things is going to happen, and one of them did happen. And so they deserve to be there.
Yeah, I think so too. And look, if Georgia blows out Michigan or Michigan blows out Georgia, both of those teams still deserve to be in the playoffs. Who else? I mean, Georgia and Michigan, I don't care who you want to compare them to. Those two teams deserve to be in. Alabama deserves to be in. And, Cincinnati, I think, things fell the way they needed them to fall in a year. I mean, just think about all the things that had to go right for Cincinnati to get in, besides them winning all their games, which they did. They got lucky. Not lucky, but they had Notre Dame on the schedule this year. They beat them. Then Notre Dame ran the table. They needed that.
Yeah.
Notre Dame goes 8-4. Cincinnati's probably not in right now. But as it stands, Cincinnati has the best win of any playoff team.
You're right, they do.
They have a win over
Alabama.
Oh, yeah, Alabama over Georgia. Yeah. And then Cincinnati is second with their win over Notre Dame. So
that's true. Yeah.
And then they had to have Oklahoma State lose in the Big 12 title game, and Oklahoma State lost. They needed Oregon to trip up in the last month of the season. Oregon tripped up in the last month of the season. They needed the ACC to be the ACC, and the ACC was the ACC. They needed, Clemson played themselves out of it in September, basically, but then, Pitt had to lose, and Wake Forest, whatever that, because that would have been an interesting argument there. What about a 13-0 Cincinnati versus a 12-1 Wake Forest or Pitt? Then what would have happened?
Well, how about a 13-0 Cincinnati against a 12-1 Clemson? Clemson would have got ahead of Cincinnati.
Yeah,
easily.
Yeah.
They probably would have beat Wake Forest out, but not Clemson.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know. It's hard to say, man. But I think that's the way it would play. I mean, Clemson is you make fun of Clemson all you want, but they had cachet built up in going into this thing. If they would have only been a 1-loss team, they would have got in. Whereas Wake Forest doesn't have the cachet built up. And plus, Wake Forest didn't have as hard a schedule as Clemson did either, especially non-conference. So
I don't know why there's somebody. I don't know why there's somebody on hold, but this isn't a call-in show. The call-in shows are on Tuesday and Thursday. So I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, call in tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow night. That'd be great. 10 p.m. in that. All right, and now 7:30, New Year's Eve. How do you feel about the playoff games being on New Year's Eve? I don't like it.
I never did like it. I think they should be on the 30th or the 29th.
It doesn't bother me personally because I don't do anything on New Year's Eve. I think maybe once in the last 10 years I've done anything on New Year's Eve. Really, as far as leaving and going somewhere, the in-laws that live behind me would go to their house on New Year's Eve or whatever. But so it doesn't bother me personally. But I feel like a lot of people do stuff on New Year's Eve. But probably a lot of arguments this year on New Year's Eve between husbands and wives. What do you mean we can't go to such and such like we normally do? Well, Georgia's playing at 7:30. Playoff game. Got to stay home and watch it.
Yeah, and that's funny you mentioned that because I've been on the receiving end of that argument for the past 6 years because Clemson, well, not the past 6 years, but, the past 6 years. Clemson's been in the playoffs the past 6 years.
Yeah.
And, we'll have people over. And I'm like, no, I don't want to have people over. I want to watch the game in peace. But hey, my family, look, man, you know the deal. You've been married before, but the bottom line is, I do think it's a bad time to do the playoff games. I think they should do them a day before, or maybe in a couple of days after. Maybe we do them on, and maybe instead of the New Year's Six games, which are on the first, maybe we do the playoff game on the second.
Yeah.
Right.
And
I mean,
and
I don't know, any day.
They change it around. It's not. I don't think it hasn't. It depends on the day of the week that New Year's and all that falls on, because they're not allowed to play games on a Sunday. So because of their agreement with the NFL. So
well, it's never been after the New Year though. It's always been like from the 28th ish to the 31st. Yeah. So, but what's wrong with doing it after the New Year's Six games? What's wrong with doing it on January 2nd or 3rd? I don't know. I don't know the reason behind that, but I think that most people are done with their families, and if they have out of town guests, they go home by then. And I think it's more viewer friendly if you do it after the New Year's Six games than before them. Yeah. Or if you're going to do it before them, then do it on, several days before the New Year's Eve, not just on New Year's Eve. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Yeah. And it seems anticlimactic. Like, so you're going to sit around and watch the playoff games, and then the next day you're going to watch the Outback Bowl.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Seems anticlimactic, but
it is. You're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So Georgia, Michigan, this line has moved around a little. I haven't paid as much attention to the Bama Cincinnati line. I think it's been at 13.5 the entire time, though. Maybe it's changed and I didn't notice it. But the Georgia Michigan game's gone up and down, 6.5 to 8.
Yeah.
It's bounced around from 6.5 to 8. It's at 8 now. Georgia an 8-point favorite. And I'll just tell you, I don't think anybody knows for sure. I don't think JT Daniels exists. I don't think he's playing. I don't. Now, if I'm wrong, I'll never be more happy, I guess, to be wrong. But I don't think I think Stetson Bennett starts and finishes the Michigan game. So if that matters to anybody or whatever, so that's that. It's a low over under for you too. It's an NFL over under at 44.5. But these are two good defenses with not elite offenses. Michigan's got a great running back, and their quarterback has done okay. But he's like Stetson Bennett in that he's not going out and winning the game for you. You're hoping he doesn't turn the ball over and makes a few good throws and converts a couple of third downs, and Hassan Haskins can rush for 150 yards. That's what you're hoping if you're Michigan. Similar if you're Georgia. You're hoping Stetson Bennett is 14 of 19 for 210 yards with 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. That'd be a great game for Stetson Bennett. I'm not saying that McNamara and Stetson Bennett are the same type of player or quarterback or whatever. You want to say McNamara is better? Great. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say that neither one of these teams really relies on their quarterback to win the game. This will be a defensive game, a physical game on the lines of scrimmage for sure. Michigan's got 2 elite pass rushers on the edge, Hutchinson especially. I think I don't think this will be a blowout. Do you?
No. As a matter of fact, this is the most difficult game to bet on of the bowl season, period. Whether it's the line or the over-under. This game right here is the reason that Las Vegas has so much money. I'm telling you. I don't like the line. I don't like the over-under. I don't like the money line. I don't like anything about this game. This could be an old-fashioned throwback game that you would see from an SEC team versus a Big Ten team in a major bowl game from 30 years ago. I mean, I don't know. They might score 100 points in this game. They might score 20. I have no idea. I am so confused about what to do here. If I was gonna, if somebody put a gun to my head and said, "Hey, Pete, you have to bet this game on the spread at -8 Georgia, +8 Michigan," I'd probably take Michigan at +8.
Yeah.
It's over a touchdown. Man, this is going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to this game. I think this is one of the best matchups of the season, of the entire bowl season. Forget the playoffs or anything else. Two really good defensive teams, two teams that love to run the ball. And again, like what you said about Stetson Bennett, that would make a huge difference. Like if JT was playing versus Stetson Bennett, that would make a huge difference, in my opinion, on the score and the over under. What do you think the chances are that JT starts this game? Do you have an opinion on that? I mean, I know what you're going to tell me. You're going to tell me, yeah, zero.
Zero, none.
Wow. That's actually mind-boggling in itself.
Reports that the wide receivers during the SEC championship game were on the sidelines asking for JT Daniels. You know how when teams come off the field and they go over to the bench, the wide receivers sit here, the offensive line sits here, the running backs sit there, and the coaches come over and with the whiteboards and the pictures that they take from above and all that. And there's reports that the wide receivers were calling for JT Daniels. Listen to this stat, Pete. Brock Bowers. Now, I know, look, Brock Bowers is great. I love Brock Bowers.
Oh, God.
He was targeted 16 times in that game. Every wide receiver combined was targeted 17 times.
Yeah. Yeah, he was the player of the game. I've been watching the news every day, expecting to see a headline like we see with every other team saying JT Daniels entered the transfer portal. That's what I've been waiting to see. Haven't seen it yet. Now, will we see that? I don't know. I'm surprised we haven't seen it yet. I'm just going to be serious. I
don't think he'll do it now. Now, to me, I would not have been surprised if he would have done it, let's say, back in week 10. Or our last 3 games of the season were Georgia Tech, Charleston Southern, and I forget who he played before that. He didn't throw the ball. He didn't attempt to pass. So it wouldn't have surprised me then. Now, I don't think. I'm not saying he won't enter the portal, but if he does, I think it'll be after Georgia's season is over, whether that's New Year's Eve or January 10th. I don't think he'll do it now. I think I don't know what Stetson Bennett's going to do. I'm assuming he's going to come back, but because I don't know where else he would go. But if he comes back, especially, I don't see how they talk JT Daniels into staying. I mean, it's his last year of eligibility next year. I don't know. I don't know how JT Daniels
and that's why
takes that
I
chance.
Think if he's going to transfer, he would do it now because there's slots, open and filling up quickly. Like he wants to get in on that. I don't know, man. The whole thing is mind-boggling to me. I'm just going to be. I mean, I can't figure out what the hell is going on there at the quarterback position. Why in the world would you start Stetson at this point? And I'm not even saying that what happened against Alabama was Stetson's fault, because it wasn't. But still, JT's the better quarterback, gives you a better chance to win, especially against a team like Michigan in the playoffs.
Right.
So maybe there is some indication that JT might start this game, and I don't even know why I'm saying that because there's been no proof on the field or anywhere else that JT is going to start this game, but he should be, and maybe he is, and maybe that's why he's not transferring out. Maybe they told him he's going to do this. I don't know, man. I'm not going to touch this game with a 10-foot pole until I can see some concrete proof of who's starting quarterback. I'll tell you this right now. If Stetson Bennett's starting quarterback the day before or the day of the game before it starts, I'm taking Michigan at +8.
Yeah.
Period.
I not that anyone ever does, but definitely don't listen. don't take my advice. This is a playoff game. There's just no way I'm betting against Georgia. I mean, I can't. I mean, there's a difference between trying to be, fair and talk about the game in a real way, which I feel like I have. But come on, I can't bet against my own team in the playoffs. It's not happening. It's just no way. I can't bet against my team in the regular season. I might not bet on Georgia to cover every week, but there's no way I'm betting against them ever. I can't. Playoff, I mean, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna bet on Georgia. That's just what it is. But don't bet on Georgia because Uncle Lou said so. Not that anybody ever does that anyway, but I definitely don't do it in this case. But I think it'll be a good game. It wouldn't surprise me at all for this to be a 3-point game, 4-point game, 6-point game. I mean, if you look at the spread and the over/under, I mean, what are they expecting? Something like let's see, what's the over/under? 44, and it's an 8-point. So what are they expecting? Something like 24-17. So I mean, what would that be? 41 points. 28.
Yeah, I don't like anything about
20.
this game. I don't like anything about it. I don't like the over/under. I would say it'd probably go under because it's two really good defensive teams, but I think that's a trap. I think the line is a trap. I think the over/under is a trap. I think the whole fucking game is a trap. I don't like anything about this as far as betting goes.
Yeah.
I really don't.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. It's a trap.
Yeah, it's definitely a
Have
trap.
you seen, Pete, the projected line for a hypothetical Alabama versus Georgia national championship game?
No, what is that?
What would your guess be?
I would say a hypothetical line between Alabama and Georgia in the national championship game would probably be, oh man, it would be a low spread. I'm going to say, I bet Georgia would still be favored. I'm going to say Georgia by 3.
Georgia by 1.
See, I was close, wasn't I?
Georgia by 1. Now, clearly that
Oh.
could change based on how, even if Georgia and Alabama win, that could change based on what happens in those games. For example, if JT Daniels plays
Bryce
and
Young
throws
twists
for
his ankle,
400
Georgia's
yards,
favored
right,
by 10.
right.
Yeah.
Right. JT plays for some reason against Michigan and goes for 404 touchdowns. Maybe that affects the line. If Georgia squeaks by Michigan by 1 point and Bama beats Cincinnati by 40, that may affect the line. But right now, if you want to bet on a hypothetical Georgia versus Bama game, the line is Georgia -1, which is surprising to me. Very surprising. The thing
You wanna
about the
talk about
Georgia-Alabama
surprising
game, and it's been a couple of weeks now, so I don't care if people want to cry that I'm making excuses. I ate my crow and did what I was supposed to do for 2 weeks, but there are some things that happened in that Georgia-Alabama game that cannot be corrected. They're just they're mismatches. There's nothing we can't make Jamison Williams slower. There's some things we can't. There's some problems that happen in that game that Georgia can't fix. But there are some things that happen in that game that were just way too uncharacteristic. Blown coverage. It's one thing to get beat, and you're going to get beat. Jamison Williams is going to beat you. What you can't do is have 4, 5, 6 plays where no one covers him at all. Blown coverages. That you can't have that. You can't not sack Bryce Young a single time. Bryce Young got sacked in every single game this year except the Georgia game. That can't happen. That
was shocking.
You've got to more creative blitz packages. You cannot rush 3 and 4 against Bryce Young, and Georgia did that way too many times. So there are things like that can be corrected. I don't think for a second if Georgia and Alabama played again, even with Stetson Bennett, I don't think Bama would win by 17. I don't think Bama is 17 points better than Georgia. I don't think Texas A&M is better than Alabama. But they were better that day.
Right. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Do you think NC State is better than Clemson?
Right,
No.
exactly.
The answer is no. I'm going to tell you that 10 times now on Sunday, too. No. Yeah, it happens every week. It just happened.
Yeah.
It happened to Georgia at the wrong time. And look, man, Alabama's Alabama. I'm not saying they're NC State versus it's a different thing. But we always talk about beating the same team twice. beating the same team twice, if it's Syracuse versus fucking, any of the top 20 teams in America, yeah, probably beat Syracuse twice. To beat a top 5 team twice, different story.
Yeah.
Way different story.
Yeah. So we won't waste too much time because that might not even be the game that ends up happening. So I don't want to waste too much time. I just thought that was interesting. That somehow
Michigan
Georgia
versus
would be a
Cincinnati,
1-point
baby.
game.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
Michigan versus Cincinnati and the national championship game. What would the spread on that be?
Oh.
Less than a touchdown, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. And probably the lowest ratings of any national title game in history if that were to happen. I mean, the ratings would still be good. The ratings would still be good, but that game would not attract the casual. You know how even people who don't watch a single NFL game will watch the Super Bowl. Well, there's some people who don't watch much college football, but they'll watch the national title game. Those people wouldn't watch Michigan versus Cincinnati. They wouldn't.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially on a Monday night. They're not going to stay up till 12:30 on a Monday night watching Michigan versus Cincinnati. A certain amount of people aren't going to do that, which is another big, huge fucking problem.
Yeah.
I know the NFL takes over Saturdays, like that second weekend in January or something when they start the playoffs.
Yeah, but why not Friday night, though? Friday.
Yeah, they could do it Friday night, or the NFL can still play their playoff games, play them at noon and 4 instead of playing them at 4 and 8. And let college football have their national title game on a Saturday night when almost every other college football game of the year is always played. The Monday night thing, I don't think anybody likes that Monday night thing. Even the NFL, when they play their Super Bowl on Sunday, they don't start the game at 8:30. They start it at 6:15. Yeah. And the game's over by 10 or 10:30. The national title game's not going off it's not ending till after midnight. The halftime show is going to be twice as long as a normal halftime. The TV timeouts are going to be longer so the network can make money. If you've watched the national title games, those things don't go. And games are lasting even longer now than normal. This is going to be 12:30 before the national title game goes off the air. I really wish they would fix that. It doesn't. Again, a lot of this stuff doesn't affect me personally. I mean, I work from home. I don't give a, who cares? I'll stay up till 1 a.m. and get up and do the morning show the next day in my pajamas. It doesn't matter to me. But that's not normal for most people. Most people are getting up at 6 a.m. and having to go off to work somewhere and all that. It's inconvenient for the vast majority of college football fans to have to stay up till 12:30 on a Monday night.
And it's not just inconvenient for the person watching on TV. It's inconvenient for the person going to the game. Mm-hmm. I mean, it needs to be on Friday night. Period. If you're going to spend, I don't know how much it costs to go to a national championship game because I've never been to one. $2,000 if you're going with 2 people, 3 people. $2,000, $3,000 at minimum, and probably way more than that when you add in everything that goes to it. Give them the day or two to travel home before they have to go back to work on Monday. I mean, traveling out of town to go to a national championship across the country or to another state on a friggin' Monday is ridiculous. Right after the holidays when you spend all the money on Thanksgiving and Christmas,
right?
It makes no sense. Yeah. It makes no sense.
Yeah. I wish they'd fix that. But, speaking of things that need to be fixed, a lot of talk this week about changing around the signing days, more than normal. Like enough talk to where I think something might actually change. I think
it should change.
Yeah, they're going to do something different with this early signing day at some point, whether it's next year or 2 years or whatever. They're going to something is going to change about this about the early signing day. I've heard everything from moving early signing day all the way back to August before the season starts to moving it forward to the week after the national title game and then moving the second signing day from whatever it is, the first Wednesday in February to the last Wednesday in February. So you basically have 6 weeks between the two signing days.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but they're going to do something because it's causing too many problems with recruiting. You're in a rush to hire coaches because what happens if you don't have a coach by Wednesday? Well, how do you recruit when you don't have a coach? So teams are rushing to hire people. It's just creating a lot of issues.
There should be no 2 signing days. One signing day, and they can make it in December like it is now. The early signing day that we're about to have next week, that's enough. And here's the reason why. And this goes back to the BCS as well. So you have the Alabamas, the LSUs. I'm going back to the BCS era. That's the reason I'm using these teams. It's not because they're Alabama or LSU. I'm just using these teams as a barometer. Ohio State, Alabama, LSU, all the teams that won towards the late era of the BCS. So you have guys that are not sit out, but won't sign in December because they want to see who's the best team in the country, right? Alabama can sit back there and not sign 3 or 4 guys that they want, and they win the national title. Next thing you know, those 4 guys signed to Alabama the week after or the month after that Alabama wins the national title. Stopping these guys from signing after they see who wins the title should be the goal here, in my opinion. I mean, go ahead and commit to your team before the calendar year starts over to give some of the lower level team, and not even lower level teams, just everybody else, a chance to have a commitment and actually sign, not just commitment, with some of these other teams before they see who wins the title. It should be done before the title's done. It should be done before the playoffs are done, frankly.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you, like even conference championship games, right? If you're not in your conference championship game, that's an entire week you're recruiting when Georgia's not, Bama's not, Oklahoma State's not, whatever. Now, being in your conference championship game is in and of itself a recruiting tool because that means you're a pretty good team. But it just seems like everything is, and plus as a college football YouTuber, I would love for this stuff to be spread out more. In the last 2 weeks, you got all these, coaches getting fired, coaches getting hired, conference championship games, selection Sunday, early signing day, transfer portal. It's so much going on at once. And then in June, there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
I would like for this stuff to be spread out more. And I have a selfish reason because I do, I'm a college football YouTuber, but I feel like a lot of the coaches and stuff would rather it be a little more spread out too, because it seems like the first couple of weeks of December, it seems like you're getting like 2 months worth of stuff happening in the first 2 weeks of December between conference championship games, playoff selection shows, players entering the transfer portal, early signing day. It's just a mess.
It is. And I'm with you. I think it should be done either all in the second week of December like it is now, or all in January. Why are we doing 2 signing periods 6 weeks apart?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
I do like having some kind of signing period, whether we go to 1 or whether we keep 2 and spread them. I do like having a signing period before spring semester, which is like the second week of January or whatever. Because if you're early enrolling, you need to be committed. Before you had kids couldn't sign till February. And I never really understood that. Were they enrolling at the school in January, but not signing to play football till February? I never really understood how that was working. But anyway, as soon as they make me college football commissioner, I'll fix all this. But so far, they haven't met my demands. So anyway, it's 12 o'clock. We got to get out of here. We will talk about we'll talk about a whole a bunch more of the bowl games next Monday night. We'll see how we did on our picks for the games this week next Monday, and then we'll look forward and talk about some of it because there are some interesting bowl games. That Central Florida game is interesting, don't you think, Pete?
There's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Clemson and Iowa State.
Yeah.
Trying to get excited about
I
it.
think that's a good matchup. I like that. I'll watch that. Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and break out my Cheez-Its and my Texas Pete hot sauce for next week. I think.
Yeah. Good idea.
Cheez-It bowl and Texas Pete hot sauce. Yeah. Sounds like a good idea.
All right. Well, we're going to get out of here. We do appreciate everybody tuning in. This is the Lunch Money Show with me and Pigskin Pete. We do this show every Monday night at 10 p.m. year-round. Make sure you stick around in the off-season, too. We do a lot of how would you describe the Lunch Money off-season shows, Pete?
A hot mess.
Yes. Yes. And we usually have different guests on every week in the off-season, too. It seems like we did that this last off-season.
Yeah,
We had a bunch of people come on, yeah.
Yeah, we'll step it up this year. It might even get crazier than last year if that's even possible.
Oh, my God.
We've been doing the show now for 2 entire college football seasons, which is a year and a half. And I've had a great time doing it. I don't know. I can't speak for Uncle Lou.
Oh, yeah.
But it's been a great time.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and we appreciate y'all hanging out with us in the comments section. Thank you for supporting the show tonight by watching, participating in the comment section, hitting the thumbs up, and of course the super chats. Unchained Sports, Jarvis S, and Huffer Billy Paul. We really appreciate you guys choosing to support the show. I know it's Christmas time and money's tight for everybody, so the fact that you would choose to spend some of that hard-earned money on Pete and Uncle Lou and helping to support this show really does mean a lot to us. So thank you guys for that, and we hope to see you all back next Monday. Pete gets the last word today.
I will be on tomorrow night at Tuesday at 7 p.m. for the ACC show with me and my boy C-Dog. Wednesday night at 10 p.m. for the call-in show. No show Friday night because I'll be watching Clemson beat the shit out of the Dirk Packers in basketball Saturday at 12 p.m. in person. So, anyway, happy holidays to everybody. It's been a great year. Show about something during football season and show about nothing during the off season.
See y'all next Monday.